Hello students, welcome to the subject of complex variable in partial differential equation. Myself Dr. Ankit Acharya, and as you all know that in last lecture we discussed about singularity and types of singularity. Okay, first we define what is singular point, and after that we discuss about isolated singularity, removable singularity, essential singularity, and then pole of order n. So in today's lecture we discuss about some important example related to exam point of view. Okay, related to this singularity concept. So let's see. So this is our example number 1. Okay, find the poles of f of z, that is equal to 1 upon z square minus z raised to 6. Okay, all the example asked in GTU examination, so try to understand very carefully. First of all, we know that in our case all the polynomials, exponential functions, trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions, all are analytic functions. Okay, so the problem where denominator becomes 0. So first of all, in this case 1 upon z square minus z raised to 6 are analytic, but where the denominator becomes 0, at those point your function is not analytic. So first of all, z square minus z raised to 6 we just simplify. In denominator we have z square, we can take as a common. Now 1 minus z raised to 4. Okay, now z square as it is, 1 minus z raised to 4, I can write 1 minus z square, 1 plus z square. Okay, and now you can easily understand that denominator becomes 0 at point 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 1. These singular points are from 1 minus z square, because 1 minus z square we can write 1 minus z into 1 plus z. Okay, the factorization of a square minus b square, and 1 plus z square. Okay, because 1 plus z square, that is equal to 0, that means z square, that is equal to minus 1, and that's why z is equal to plus or minus I. Okay, so the plus or minus I comes from this factor 1 plus z square. So now the simple answer 0, plus or minus 1, and plus or minus I are singular points, or sometimes we call it poles. Okay, the singular point, sometimes we call it poles. So the next example, classify the singularity for the function f of z, that is equal to z minus sin z upon z square, right? And z is equal to 0, and clearly you can easily understand that what is the singular point. Singular point is z is equal to 0, because this function, otherwise this function is analytic everywhere. On numerator we have z minus sin z, z is analytic function, sin z, that is also analytic function. So subtraction of two function, that is also analytic function. On denominator we have z square, z square is also analytic function. So the whole function is analytic, but at point 0 denominator becomes 0, so that's why z is equal to 0 is a singular point. Okay, the given function is not analytic at point 0. Now as you all know that if you want to find out the removable singularity, then if limit exists, okay, if limit exists at the singular point, that means z tends to z0, right? Z tends to z0, limit f of z, suppose this limit is exist, that means we can say that z0 is a removable singular point, right? And the same situation happen here. Here I just find z tends to 0, limit f of z. What is my f of z? Z minus sin z upon z square. And to find out this limit, we have to use L'Hospital rule, right? So you can see that at point 0, numerator and denominator both are 0, right? So you cannot take direct value. Here 0 minus sin 0, so that is also 0, denominator we have 0, so 0 by 0 form. So using L'Hospital rule, we have to differentiate numerator and denominator both, right? So differentiation of numerator, that is z minus sin z, so that is 1 minus cos z, differentiation of z, that is 1, differentiation of sin z, that is cos z. Okay, and differentiation of z square, that is 2z, right? Now once again you have 0 by 0 form. See, as z tends to 0, you can see that 1 minus cos 0, cos 0 1, 1 minus 1 0, denominator we have 0, so 0 by 0 form. So using L'Hospital rule, now z tends to 0, limit sin z by 2. Once again we have to differentiate, so differentiation of 1, that is 0, differentiation of cos z, that is minus sin z, so minus minus plus sin z, and differentiation of z, that is 1. So now we have Z tends to 0, limit sin Z by 2. And now you can take the value, instead of Z we have to take 0. So now you have 0. So that's why 0 is a removable singular point for f of Z. Okay. The next example, classify the singularity for the function f of Z, that is equal to sin Z minus Z upon Z cube. We can apply the same method here. Z tends to 0, limit sin Z minus Z upon Z cube. Okay, clearly this is 0 by 0 form, because as Z tends to 0, sin 0 0, Z is 0. Denominator we have 0 also. So using L'Hospital rule, cos Z, differentiation of sin Z, that is cos Z minus 1 upon 3Z square, right? Now differentiation of cos Z, that is minus sin Z. Okay, differentiation of cos Z, that is minus sin Z, and denominator we have 6Z, right? So minus sin Z upon 6Z. So minus 1 upon 6, Z tends to 0, limit sin Z upon Z. So this limit, right, we know that Z tends to 0, limit sin Z upon Z, that is equal to 1. So the answer is minus 1 by 6, right? And clearly limit exists, so that's why we can say that 0 is a removable singular point for f of Z. Clear? Now next example, identify the types of singularity of f of Z, that is 2 minus e raised to Z upon Z cube. Now clearly the series of e raised to Z, that we already know, that series of e raised to Z, that is 1 plus Z plus Z square by 2 factorial plus Z cube by 3 factorial. So just try to express 2 minus, instead of e raised to Z, I can write the series of e raised to Z, that is 1 plus Z plus Z square by 2 factorial plus Z cube by 3 factorial and so on. In denominator we have Z cube. Now first of all, what is your singular point? Z0, that is equal to 0. I hope you can understand. 0 is only the singular point, because otherwise this function is analytic. 2 minus e raised to Z upon Z cube, that is analytic everywhere except 0, because at point 0 the denominator becomes 0. Okay, and now some simplification. 2 minus 1, that is 1. Okay, so 1 upon Z cube, the first term is 1 upon Z cube. Second term, that is minus Z upon Z cube, so minus 1 upon Z square. Third term, that is minus Z square upon Z cube, so that is minus 1 upon 2Z. Okay, then minus Z cube upon Z cube, and 3 factorial is already there, so the constant term is minus 1 upon 6. Okay, and after some terms, if you want to write, that is minus Z by 24 minus Z square by 120, right? Now clearly, if you remember the definition of pole of order m, okay, so the terms of principal part, that means this part, summation of bn upon z minus z0 raised to n, where n is starting from 1 to infinite. In Lorentz series, this is my principal part, and principal part means here z0 is equal to 0. Okay, so first of all, b1 upon z plus b2 upon z square plus b3 upon z cube and so on. Is there infinitely many terms? No, there are only finitely many terms. Okay, 1 upon z cube, 1 upon z square and 1 upon z, right? We don't have any other term like 1 upon z raised to 4, 1 upon z raised to 5 and so on. So there are only finitely many terms. So that's why z is equal to 0 is a pole of order 3. Okay, because there are only 3 terms. We have only b1, b2 and b3. From b4 we have all the terms are 0. From b4 the values are 0. Okay, and if you remember the definition of residue, what is the definition of residue? The definition of residue, that is nothing but the coefficient of 1 upon z minus z0. So here the coefficient of 1 upon z, that is exactly our residue. That means what is the coefficient of 1 upon z here? From this term you can easily understand the coefficient of 1 upon z, that is minus 1 by 2. Okay, so minus 1 by 2 is my residue for the function. Okay, minus 1 by 2. I just write down here residue of f of z at point z is equal to 0, that is equal to minus 1 by 2, because the coefficient of 1 upon z, that is minus 1 by 2, right? Let's solve some more example. Now again, identify the types of singularity. What is my function? E raised to 1 upon z. Clearly you can write the series of e raised to 1 upon z. Just instead of z, you have to write 1 upon z. We already know the series of e raised to z, that is 1 plus z plus z square by 2 factorial plus z cube by 3 factorial and so on. Okay, z cube by 3 factorial and so on. Now instead of z, just write down 1 upon z. So you will get 1 plus 1 upon z by 1 factorial plus 1 upon z whole square divided by 2 factorial plus 1 upon z whole cube divided by 3 factorial and so on. So you will get this series 1 plus 1 upon z plus 1 upon 2z square plus 1 upon 6z cube and so on. And 0 is a essential singular point. Why 0 is essential singular point? Because there are infinitely many terms of 1 upon z, 1 upon z square, 1 upon z cube and so on. And here clearly 0 is only the singular point, because at point 0 this function 1 upon z is not defined. Okay, so I hope you can understand that z0 here, z0 is equal to 0 only, right? And 1 upon z, there are infinitely many terms of 1 upon z, 1 upon z square, 1 upon z cube. So that's why 0 is a essential singular point. Let's solve one more example. Now define singular point of the function and state whether the function f of z is analytic or not. What is my function? Function is z square plus 1 upon z plus 2 into z square plus 2z plus 2. Okay, a point at which the function f of z is not analytic is known as a singular point. So first we have to define the definition of singular point. F of z is analytic everywhere except at the point given by where denominator becomes 0. We know that z plus 2 into z square plus 2z plus 2. Okay, where denominator becomes 0, the function is not analytic. So that's why we assume that z plus 2 into z square plus 2z plus 2, that is equal to 0. So the first value you can easily get, that z is equal to minus 2. The second and third value, that means you have to simplify, you have to find out the roots of this quadratic equation, z square plus 2z plus 2, that is equal to 0. So clearly what is my a? A is equal to 1. Compare with az square plus bz plus c. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2 and c is equal to 2. Okay, so this is minus b. What is my formula to find out the roots of this quadratic equation? Z is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so that's why the value of b, that is 2, so minus 2 plus or minus square root of b square, that is 4 minus 4 into ac, so that is 8. Okay, divided by 2. So finally you will get minus 1 plus or minus I. Okay, so the singular points are z is equal to minus 2 and z is equal to minus 1 plus or minus I, right? And hence z is analytic everywhere except z is equal to minus 2 and z is equal to minus 1 plus I. So in today's lecture, just we discuss about singularity, types of singularity, and we solve so many examples related to this topic. So try to understand first of all singularity and types of singularity very carefully, so you can easily understand all these examples, right? And let's take a quick revision. What is the definition of isolated singularity? If z0 is isolated singular point, then you can easily define a circle with the center z0 in which in that circle there is no other singular point. Now next definition is removable singularity. If limit exists, z tends to z0, limit f of z exists, then we can say that z0 is a removable singularity. Next is essential singularity. If there are infinitely many terms of principal part, that means 1 upon z minus z0, 1 upon z minus z0 whole square, 1 upon z minus z0 whole cube and so on. There are infinitely many terms, then we can say that z0 is a essential singularity. And if there are finitely many terms, then we can say that z0 is a pole of order n. That means you have only finitely many terms like b1, b2 up to bn. Okay, And related to all this definition that we discussed in our last lecture, related to all this definition, just we solve so many examples, and all the examples are very important exam point of view. Thank you.